Throw my money away, man.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. And if you're tired of lighting your money on fire at DFS Fantasy Baseball like me, you could listen to Friday Night Lights on a Monday with my friends Willie Walls and the great Swami Odell Blocker. Gentlemen, how was your weekend?
No, I worked, so I didn't have a weekend, but I hope I live my life vicariously through you two. I hope y'all had blessed weekends.
Did you have a blessed weekend, Swami?
Up until Chris Paul decided to retire, I was doing okay.
Can I tell you, I got something to ask you here. And I know you guys are basketball guys. I love Monty Williams. I love him. I think he's a class act. I think he's a humble guy. He's my favorite coach in the NBA by far. How come his team was a bunch of jerks the whole series? Arrogant, cocky jerks. Meanwhile, Monty Williams is just like a class act. Did you notice that?
Yeah, you talking about when they mocked Luka?
Yeah.
But you see what happened.
You don't mock Luka, dude.
Yeah, Luka is a monster. Whew, he's a monster.
Yeah,
He's gonna give the Warriors some trouble.
Larry Bird has a son.
Yes, he does. And his name is Luka Doncic. God, he's a man. Listen, ain't nobody talk trash to Luka. They said, shut your mouth up, because Luka said, I will put you in a blender.
Here's the crazy thing: is Luka is no Steph. As good a shooter as Luka is, Steph is better.
Yeah, whoa. Excuse me. Don't be disrespectful to Luka.
No, I love Luka. And Luka's a better ball handler, and Luka's arguably a better passer.
Listen, I love Steph, but when it comes to overall point guard, who do I want, Luka or Steph? Come on over here, Luka.
Let me ask you this: if you could have Giannis or Luka, one guy to start your team, who are you starting with?
Probably Luka.
I'm going with the big fella. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the big fella. Yeah, he'll go with big fella. He's dominant.
Do you know what they both have in common?
What?
Not American.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
But Luka's got that. I mean, Giannis, don't get me wrong. Giannis is a monster too, but Luka got that. It's that little it factor, man, that he just brings this little extra, and his upside, he's still.
But he said the one guy you start your team with, and what Giannis do, he bring it night in and night out. He attacking. I just feel like, he in the paint, he getting the boards, and I know what Luka is doing is special, but I just feel like you can stop that probably, 4 times out of 10. Where I think with Giannis, you'd be lucky to stop that 1 time out of 10.
I don't know, sir. I'm going with Luka, man. I mean, that's like saying, what do you want, lobster or steak?
Exactly. All right, let's get to some football here. Let's do an early AFC East fantasy preview, very early. Sometimes these are great. You're doing a dynasty draft like I'm doing now. You're doing a startup league. You're doing best ball. Let's get to the AFC East. Let's get to the Buffalo Bills. This is a deep team, guys, very deep. Josh Allen is there. They have Devin Singletary. They bring in James Cook from Georgia, Dalvin Cook's little brother. They've got 4 or 5 receivers there. Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, who a lot of people, including the guru John Hansen, love this year. Jamison Crowder comes over from the Jets. Let's not forget Shakir, their rookie. Let's not forget Isaiah McKenzie. Oh, yeah, Dawson Knox and O.J. Howard, who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers never wanted to play, is there too. Willie, is this an embarrassment of riches? Who do you like here on the Bills?
Man, I mean, well, let me say this. Elam was big to go alongside with Dre's White. Listen, the guy was so good that they didn't throw on him the last 2 years. The only thing he's got to watch out for is, just a couple of penalties. He gets a little handsy. That's it. But this guy, opposite White, is going to be super for him. Then you talk about they got James Cook. A scat back, that could be, that makes Mr. Singletary, who finished off the season strong, kind of null and void, because you don't know what's going to happen with that situation.
Wait, did you say null and void on Singletary?
Not null and void. We don't know. They can eat each other. You understand what I'm saying? Neither one of them will be. It's just like when we talked about Tyreek Hill. When you have an embarrassment, sometimes they can eat up each other's numbers, so they're not going to be. He won't be that guy that he was at the end of the season. You follow what I'm saying? At the end of the season, he was getting 90% of the carries. He was getting it all. Now, this Cook guy could play, and I think I think they're going to split it up a little bit more. Now you got a 3-man backfield. So to me, I like this. And Cook has some stuff, but I mean, listen, Singletary is still going to be the lead back, but he's not going to be my lead back in the league that I have. When you got this other guy. But see, the guy I want to touch on, of course, first of all, Josh Allen was a monster, #1 quarterback, 5 weeks. Then he finished in the top 4 the other 4 weeks. What makes him so good is he was the first quarterback since Drew Brees in 2011, finished #1 in fantasy points, back-to-back seasons, and he gets you an additional 6.6 points a game in rushing. You know what I mean? So Josh Allen is a monster, and I know everybody's going to talk about Diggs, but let me tell you something about this other dude that we have, Mr. Gabriel Davis, okay? Now, you get him at a discount, but the thing that people do not realize that with Gabriel Davis, okay, the thing about Davis is since that 2020 draft, I just want to ask you a question. Who are the only 2 guys from that 2020 draft got more touchdowns than Gabriel Davis? Can y'all answer that question for me?
Can you answer it? I'm waiting for you. Just answer it already.
Okay. Mr. Taylor, 33, for Indianapolis. Then next we're coming to the running back for the Commanders at 21.
Really?
Yeah. And then Gabriel Davis has 18. Okay, 18 touchdowns. Now, what people don't realize, when that rascal plays 2/3 of the snaps, let me give you some help. I got some stuff for you right now, sir. Let me give you some stats for Mr. Gabriel Davis here that I don't know off the top of my head. Hold on for a minute. Oh, here we go. 2/3 of the snaps, 50, A16 and 11 TDs, over 87 targets, averaging 14.2 points a game. When he gets a shot, he gets an opportunity. You saw what happened in that last game against Kansas City. He went off. I'm not going to say it's like that, but what I'm telling you is that I think that he is the hot button guy, for Buffalo. But I agree. Go ahead.
I just had a call coming in. I just want to let you know, Michael Jackson looking for you. So nobody caring about no dog Gabriel Davis right now. Are you kidding me? Talk about
crazy. You crazy, Swami?
Doc, we gotta talk about this draft. We gotta talk about something.
I'm talking about. We're past the draft. We're on team previews. We are talking about James Cook. You could talk about James Cook, but Gabriel Davis, I kid you not, he is a top 30 receiver this year. And in DFS, you will be using him liberally.
I think they like Khalil Shakur. I think they like Jamison Crowder. I think they brought in, again, Duke Johnson, O.J. Howard. They've bolstered a lot of spots. They brought in James Cook. I don't think he's in there to compete or eat or whatever Wall was talking about. James Cook is the real deal. Remember, Georgia running backs are coming into the league, and they've been tearing it up. They're just not coming in just, competing. No, they're coming in, and they're starting, and they're doing really well. And he's another one of these Georgia running backs we're going to see coming to the league and make some noise.
He will not be the starting running back for Buffalo, just so you know.
He might not start the season, but he's a very promising running back.
I say he's going to eat into the production for Singletary. I said that in the beginning. Okay. I said that.
I'm just saying, I just feel like Mr. Cook right now is not getting his due from YouTube. That's all.
I think Mr. Cook is a very good play in DraftKings. I can see me playing him as my second running back on certain weeks if Josh Allen throws to his receivers. Last year, Willie, he didn't throw to that backfield that much, did he?
No. So he throws to the receivers. That's why I say, and when you talk about Gabriel Davis, are you kidding me? That's going to be the breakout guy right there. He's got immense.
His guy's Diggs. His guy's Diggs.
Excuse me?
His guy's Diggs. Period. Mr. Diggs.
I got that, but he's not Mr. Diggs to me.
Okay, but do you guys remember we covered this on our shows? Diggs against man-to-man coverage, cover one, beast. Diggs in zone, good, but not as good. Not as good. Gabriel Davis is he's in every spot. He's good against both coverages. He's big. He can play slot. He can play outside. I'm just saying this. When you're drafting in fantasy, Gabriel Davis might be a wide receiver 3 easily this year.
Agreed. I think Diggs is going to get the coverage, and that will open it up for Gabriel Davis. That's all I'm telling you. He's a player.
I just think they made a lot of moves. They brought in a lot of free agents. They used their picks in the draft very well. I just think that they, when I talk about giving out grades, they get the grade for filling the biggest holes that you had. They didn't have a lot of holes to begin with, but they went out and got pieces. They went out and got, I want to say Elam, and I think probably Cook are going to be 2 of the best players.
But don't forget about this. They signed Tim Settles and they gunned Jones to the defensive line.
Oh, and what about Von Miller?
And they got Mr. Von. The future's so bright.
Yeah. That's. Then I didn't mention, So then we mentioned Von Miller coming there, and with Elam opposite Trey. I mean, come on, man. Listen, they're stacked, and what I like about them is they address their situation and what they should have been in the Super Bowl.
But I just couldn't stand by and let Gabriel Davis get a segment. I know y'all got a bromance going on. I know y'all got a bromance.
Listen.
All the moves they made. Are you kidding me?
Listen. We're gonna get to that, but we're telling you is that to me, Gabriel Davis is a guy that I'm going to be targeting in fantasy drafts.
What round?
He has.
I know when you're serious. Tell me what round. I know when you're serious.
We. All
right, I'm going to answer your question. Depends on how I draft Swami. I could take him as early as round 5, no later than 6.
Wow, that's pretty high. Walls, is that the same for you?
Yeah.
10-team PPR?
I'm talking about 6 right.
Is this 10-team PPR or 12-team? What are we doing?
Who plays 10-team PPR? Who does that? Are we in middle school?
I ain't gonna say nothing, sir.
No comment.
All right, then. All right, let's take a look at another team that helped themselves a lot this offseason. The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins bring in the freak, Tyreek. You're going to love South Beach. The cheetah is going to be wearing some cheetah pants out there on South Beach. But let me look at this, guys. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, new running game there. They have a deep team. Cedric Wilson comes in from Dallas. They brought in a lot of guys on defense. This is a team with a new coach. A lot of good things happening in Miami there, Swami. What do you think?
First, remember the defense was playing pretty well. Last couple of seasons, the defense has been keeping Miami in the game and been making a lot of fantasy noise. Remember, we had some big weeks going with that Miami defense over the last couple of seasons. And so, again, they bring in the running back. They bring in Tendall from Georgia. Again, you get just a piece. Sometimes it's just one more piece to keep going what they already got going. You really like that. And they brought in so many weapons for, this offense, the kind of – if the Miami Dolphins offense isn't one of those, breakout top 5, 7 offenses this year, I don't know what to tell you. Like this has to be a real promising season for the Dolphins. I like what they did. They didn't have a lot that they did through the draft, but they really made their picks count. I even like that wide receiver that they got, Eric. I have trouble with his last name out of Texas.
Oh, Azukani or something like that. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I just like what I saw from him. He just seemed like he was another solid pick. Somebody else who can come in, maybe contribute on special teams. You know how sometimes there's guys like that who make the biggest impact right away on special teams. I just like what I see from the Dolphins, and I just think they're going to have a really good year.
Willie, let me ask you a question here. I think a lot of people poo-poo Tua because they go, he doesn't have the arm strength. But the Dolphins are going to be a run-first team because that San Francisco coach, they love running, right? McDaniel loves to run. But you have Waddle, you've got Tyreek Hill, you've got Cedric Wilson. Maybe Tua doesn't have to throw the ball 50 yards down the field. Maybe he only has to throw it 10 yards and let those guys run. Do you think Tua can handle this offense?
Well, first of all, we got to address the offensive line. They did 2 things that people are not talking about. they added, their left side of the offense line. They added Connor Williams and Terrence Armstead, to secure that left side for Tua. Okay, they did that, so that's going to be a big factor. Then you're looking, like you said, Chase Edmonds. When he got an opportunity to start for the Cardinals for James Conner last year, he scored 26 fantasy points and 13 fantasy points. So he's got immense upside. Because I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen to Mr. Moser. He's going to pull a hamstring, or something's going to happen to that rascal. I'm going to tell you that right now. He will not be one of my things. I know that rascal stays hurt. Okay, so let me just tell you that about Mr. Moser. But now, then the thing about, and I agree with the Swami with this Eric Azum guy is a very interesting guy that add to that wide receiver core. But Shannon Tittle, the guy from Georgia, okay, he's no Jacoby Dean, but he is going to be a great fit. He's going to be blitzing a lot. And that might be a guy that gets like about 12 or 13 sacks his first year. And people say, where did he come from? This guy has immense speed, and he's a great fit for what Miami does. So I think, listen, the bottom line is this. Tua is the X factor, okay? He's going to be the key, just like Zach Wilson. He is going to be the key to make things. If Tua progresses, because he's a smart guy, if he progresses to where he's supposed to be, they will trouble for people anyway.
But Miami did something very smart, Willie. I don't know if you saw. I'm sure you guys did. They brought in Teddy Bridgewater. And I know we don't love Teddy Bridgewater, but as backups go, if something happens to Tua, you've got a guy who's won games in the league, right? He's got the same arm strength as Tua. It's not like it's the Tua. I know you're not a big fan. I'm just saying they have protected their investment because they are trying to win this year. And by signing Teddy B, it's like the Giants signing Tyrod. You're giving yourself a chance to compete if your starting quarterback sucks.
No, it's not Teddy B. It's Teddy A.
No,
Teddy
I will not let you do that.
Listen,
Teddy,
whoa, excuse me.
He's had quite a few stops, and along the way, he's won some games, and he's looked good. He didn't necessarily lose games, right, which is always a good thing. And then he actually won a few games.
Excuse me. I remember him from having this rascal in fantasy. In the last game that Teddy Water, that rascal pulled a hamstring, was limping around and played like a quarter and a half. I remember Teddy.
But you're missing the point. The point is they've got a guy, in case Tua sucks, they got a guy who can win a game in the NFL.
I understand, and with his weapons he have an offensive line, he could be serviceable.
But I don't like what they did to him last year, which meant when they felt like they needed to throw the ball, they pulled him out and brought in Fitzmagic. I mean, if you're going to have the guy, that's the time for him to
What?
Whoa.
What are you talking about? He was in Denver.
He played for Denver.
Not Teddy B. I'm talking about what they did to
Tua.
They would bring him out of the games.
That's a couple of years ago.
That's a couple of years ago.
But I didn't like that because he needed those reps. He needed the chance. He needed the time to be in the offense to actually try to, get the passing game going, to complete on third and longs. He needed those reps. And now we're still in this waiting to see. What can he do when he's facing those situations before? Can he do something? So now you bring in Teddy B, and I think he might be under that same type of pressure again. He needs to come in, know the offense is his, and need to go out there and be able to run what I think is something like a West Coast offense and be very accurate and move the chains and keep them ahead on first and second.
Well, I want you guys to remember something, okay? Brian Flores, I do believe, is a good leader. I believe he knows defense, and I believe he inspires teams. But I don't think that team played great offense at all. No. I think McDaniel comes in. He comes from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best play callers I've ever seen. And I think McDaniel is going to bring in nuances to this offense. And that's what Tua needs. He needs play action. He needs quick throws. You can't let him just drop back and throw. That's just not the right offense for this guy. You're giving him no chance to succeed. None.
Well, listen, we can't assume what a coach is going to be. We've done that before. All the Bill Belichick
visionary, baby, visionary.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying those kind of coaches can make it asinary. When the way those guys come out, because sometimes it's not what you see. I mean, he's got to prove himself. But I agree. Play action pass. If anything about Kyle Shanahan, because the difference is you come from the tree, but it's only a couple of coaches that just like it's not too many Andy Reeds, Kyle Shanahan's. You play. They are natural play callers.
Right.
You know, I can't say that for everybody else.
Just keep your eyeballs on McDaniel. I think you're going to be surprised. All right, let's talk about the New England Patriots. Mac and Cheese, or Mac the Knife, or anybody if you want to call him Mac Jones. You guys are all like poo-poo, but let me say this to you about Mac Jones. They barely let him throw the ball last year. Barely let him throw it. They gave him no wide receivers.
3 sentences on them.
They bring in Devontae Parker. They draft Tyquan Thornton. The dude runs like a 4.2. You still have Hunter Henry. You still have Damian Harris. You still have Ramondre Stevenson. Can the Patriots be an ugly team that wins 10 games?
No. Okay. First of all, you brought it. You Devontae Parker. He might play 6 games. If that's a Devontae that I know, you know, he plays every 3 games, I think, you know, if his hamstring is all right. Now, let's talk about this Mr. Thornton guy. I did some research on this rascal. This 4.28 speed. So was I don't know, do you remember Nehemiah?
Yeah, Ronaldo Nehemiah. Yeah. Skeets.
Okay. He sucked.
He was a hurdler.
I know, but he sucked.
This guy at least played football in college at Baylor, dude.
Dude, I gotta do. But let me tell you a little bit about him. What I don't like. Out of his 143 career catches he made, guess how many tackles he broke? 11 tackles.
Because he ran past all those other guys.
No. He averaged 3.9 yards after the catch. 3.9 yards after the catch. I got 2 words for Mr. Thornton, speed merchant. Do is Mr. Thornton. Don't even try to sneak that by me. I had that bastard written down. I looked at the Patriots. Yes, Damian Harris, 220 touches, 1,000 yards, and 15 touchdowns. Yes, Stevenson. Yes, he's a good player. But let me tell you, Doc, they are boring. They got nothing. Boring. One of the best things that they did was they got a great punt returner. A great returner, the number 1 returner out of the league. What's his name? I'll give you something. You want me to give you something? Oh, yeah, that Marcus Jones. Okay? But other than that, I think New England sucked. I give them D's and D minuses for the free agents they received, as well as their draft. All they did was reach. I mean, reach over this one, the first round. Strange was a strange guy. Okay? Yeah, let's talk about their little damn reaches that they had. Hold on. Let me get here. Oh, Mr. Strange. Biggest reach in the first round. They said, you know what? We're going to do better than that. We're going to go to the second round and get this Tyquan Thornton guy who don't break no dang old tackles, just got 4.28 speed. That's it. Nothing else. Then we're just going to reach all over the draft. Bill Asachek, okay? And now I'm hearing that the owner is putting him kind of in check a little bit too. You know, he's starting to look at it. He's starting to say, we've been stinking a little bit lately, you know, Mr. Bill. Anyway,
right, I have nothing to say about talk some sense. Talk Willie off the ledge here.
Willie's lost his damn mind. Even my friend thinks he is off the rails. It is no way that you just said Asachek. Are you kidding me?
First the last two years, he's been Asachek. He's been Asachek.
If they take first, they have had great drafts, and they have had these picks that. Hear me out.
What drafts have they had lately?
And they've had these picks. You talk about late, and they've had these picks that you don't necessarily see coming.
Kyle Duggar is great.
They have consistently brought in guys. The whole league got the pass on this one guy 6 times. Don't tell me that they don't know what they're doing over there in New England.
Man, okay.
So they go up to grab this guy.
What have you done for me lately?
I told you these 2 things before. You are like school on Saturday, Doc. He's got no class. Let me tell you. You are like school on holiday weekends. You got no class. Let me tell you, Doc. If they went up in the first round to take somebody who most people don't know from Chattanooga, then it's likely they might feel like that's their guy. I keep telling you, don't have to be your guy. It's a guy that's going to work well for their team, their scheme, their offense, the way that they want to do business. And guess what? They might not have an explosive offense right now, and they might not have, the kind of teams that they had when they had Mr. Brady. But guess what? They had a couple of games last year where they surprised folks. They were competing there at the end. I don't think Mr. Thornton is bad as you think.
Can you answer a question for me?
What's your question, sir? Please.
How many? Okay, because it's a fantasy show, right? Fantasy show? Do you agree? This is a fantasy show.
I'm going to get him to answer your question.
Hey, listen. Excuse me. How many Patriots, sir, are going to be on your team?
What was that?
How many Patriots? I didn't speak Spanish.
He said, no, I was listening to my friend. He said, is that season long or DFS? My friend. He asked, was that season long or DFS?
Both.
Which one? I mean, I'll be honest. You hold it down. I'll be honest. I can't speak for him.
Very chatty.
I can't speak for him, but it's unlikely we'll have.
Wait. You're not playing Damian Harris on FanDuel. You're not going to play Damian Harris and his 15 touchdowns on FanDuel, Willie Walls.
No, first I was addressing season long. It's unlikely because I don't think I'll go up to take those. I think they'll go a little bit higher than where I would want to draft in this season long. But for DFS, I definitely think they got some DFS plays. And depending on the weeks when they line up and they got that matchup that you're looking for, remember, they still got to play this division. They've had a lot of success there, even though these teams have gotten better. And,
but Patriots we are not talking about the team. I don't think this division, they're no longer slouches. Okay.
Well, don't jump the gun yet.
No.
Talking about you.
Wait. We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about the Jets yet. But I'm gonna tell you something. Listen. If when I look at the division the way it moved this year, Miami got better. The Buffalo Bills are the cream of the crop. Period. And this Jets team, when we talk about them,
But they had a lot of draft picks, Doc. I think they drafted guys that they wanted. I'm talking about the Patriots still. And I think we're going to see them make some strides. I think they could probably get maybe 8 or 9 wins. I just think it'll be tough for them to get over 10.
You guys may not know this name. Hopefully you do. The Patriots let J.C. Jackson go to the Chargers in free agency.
He's a great cornerback.
And that's the problem. The Patriots have always had a guy like that in the back end. And without that, Terrence Mitchell, Jalen Mills, I think they've got issues there. And when you play in a division that has Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Gabriel Davis, forget the Jet guys. We'll just concentrate on those guys. I don't know how the Patriots stop them. That's the problem. And I think the Patriots are a solid team, Swami. I think they are a 9-win team. But to be a 10-win or more, you've got to have a back end. You've got to have a back end, and I don't think they do. Don't?
Yeah, agreed.
All right, let's take a look at the final team in the division, the Jets, Jets. They had another sensational draft 2 years in a row. I spoke to Rich Cimini on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, covers the Jets for ESPN. The Jets got, as we know, Garrett Wilson. They got Sauce Gardner. Johnson was another guy that was first rounder. And then he told me they tried to trade up to get Breece Hall in the first round, and it ended up getting him in the second round. So really 4 first-round picks, we could argue here. This is an embarrassment of riches, but the Jets always find a way to screw this up. Swami, is this the year where they don't F this up?
I think that they're going to have to prove it to us all. I don't think we can just go and say, hey, these guys have had a great draft. And they've competed, to be honest with you, last couple of years. I didn't like when they got rid of the safety a couple of years ago. But other than that, I really like these picks. I think they got some guys that's going to really make a difference. This Sauce, he has an energy, right? This guy has Walls, don't beat me up. He has a Dion type swag that I think he could.
I'm not saying nothing about Mr. Hot Sauce.
He's got Dion bling.
Yeah, he's got a swag, and sometimes that element that's missing that takes teams over the top, it's kind of like what you saw with Diggs in Dallas. It's not just that playmaking ability, but it's also that how they get the teams and the fans going when they make plays, right? And that they making them at times when it's like on third down, or they making a big turnover in the game. Diggs almost did that, I think, week 1 against Brady. That would have been huge. But anyway, I digress. I think that when you bring in that type of swag sometimes, that can be the difference. And I like some of the swag that they brought in. Obviously, the picks speak for themselves, right? Like you said, not just for first round. They like picks that I think most teams had on their board. Like this is no question what they got in the draft. It's just, are we going to see the Jets become more consistent? Are we going to see the Jets really start to develop that quarterback that they have and him make some plays and really start to become a leader in that offense? Or are we going to see the Jets that seem like they can't stay healthy, seem like they're not consistent week to week as far as being able to have success? And I think they just got to prove it to us. Preseason might tell us something, and I just can't wait until we start to see some film.
Willie, what do you think of Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, all the rookies that they bring in, coming in with Elijah Moore? This team, I mean, look, Corey Davis may not even make the field this year. I mean, this guy could be the 4th receiver. I mean, they got a lot going on.
Listen, what you don't understand is this coach is the real deal that they got. And if you couldn't see it the last few games of the season, they were trouble. They were trouble for people. They had a couple of upsets, and they were competitive in their games. And then you're going to bring in this type of talent. Number one, hot sauce. They call him hot. They ain't call him hot sauce for no reason. This guy, he did not allow a touchdown in college football. Not one. That's why his name. So people, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to me, that's why they call him hot sauce, because he's hot. He's got swag. I agree with you. Then you say, well, you know what? That's not good enough. Let's get Garrett Wilson as our second pick. Then this guy does it in space and out of space. I would say to me, this guy is the real. This guy could ball too. They said, but you know what? That ain't enough. Let's go to the 3rd pick. Let's get Mr. Jermaine Johnson. Let's just get Mr. Jermaine Johnson. Somebody on the edge. Oh no. That's not enough too. Let's just tape it off with Mr. Hall. The guy who we were trying to trade up to get. This guy who they got there running back, he's going to compete with Michael Carter. But let me tell you something. This dude got the little it factor. I think what is going to happen is just like with the Denver running back. I think by the end of the year, you're going to know who's who. And Michael Carter gets hurt. Let Michael Carter sit out. It could be a Tom Brady situation. Thank you. We appreciate it. And you're not going to see the field again.
The only problem, though, Willie, is Michael Carter looked really good last year. And my point is that Michael Carter only got like 16 carries a game. He barely got 20 touches. So now with Breece Hall there, if they have 30 rushing attempts, is it going to be 22-8 or is it going to be 16-14? If it's 16-14, I'm not happy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Michael Carter also gets hurt. If he gets hurt and this guy gets a chance to get it all, you might not see the field again. He's the kind of talent. If you give him that opening, he might bust the door wide open. That's the only thing I'm saying. Okay. And the thing that people are not addressing is they signed guard Laken Thomason, and they also addressed their secondary, and they got cornerback DJ Reed and safety Jordan Whitehead. So they've really, what I'm saying is I like what they did. And then don't forget what you had with Elijah Moore. The last 7 games of the season, this dude averaged 17.7 fantasy points a game. I think a light kind of went on Zach Wilson's head. And now when you're giving him this and he's got more talent, I just think that this team, you might get him early. You better get him in the first 8 games of the season. I think in the last 8 games of the season, they're going to be trouble for people. This is not going to be a team that you want to face on your schedule.
I don't have it in front of me, guys, but I'm just asking simple questions, okay? Buffalo Bills, over or under 11.5 wins. Swami, over or under?
Over.
Willie?
Over.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Miami was 9.5. Over or under, Swami?
Whew.
Even.
Willie?
9.
New England Patriots 8.5 over or under. Swami?
Even.
Willie?
8.
8. Jets 5.5 over or under. Swami?
Over.
Willie?
I'm giving them 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm giving them 6. I think 7 wins is in their future.
Yeah, I do too. I think the Bills could be an over, but 11.5 is a big number.
Yeah, but let me say this though.
17 listen,
barring a catastrophic injury, listen, and just the way that Josh Allen has improved year by year. He's just taking over. I mean, I remember him from 3 years ago when he was just running wild in that Houston game. When you start seeing that, you say, "Oh, this Josh Allen got a little talent," but that's when he was just running the ball. Now he's throwing the ball. I mean, listen, man, what he did in that Chiefs game in Kansas City,
they deserved it. I really wanted them in the Super Bowl. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I mean,
other than the Chiefs, I don't even think anybody else could do that, compete with them on that Sunday. I don't think there was another team in the league.
Offensively, it was just.
I mean, I was happy for the Bengals, but I mean, really, the Bills just to lose that game like that was very heartache. A lot of heartache. All right, guys. Next week, want to go NFC North or South? What do we want to do?
What you want, Swami?
Let's go South.
We're going South.
NFC South.
NFC South. Dirty Down Birds, Buccaneers, the Saints, the Panthers. Woo! Some smelly teams. Some good teams there. Looking forward to it. All right, guys. For me, Willie, and Swami, we say be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.